In English, we say you learn more from your mistakes than the things you do well, right? My name's Paul Armstrong-Taylor, so I teach Hopkins Nanjing Center in Nanjing, which is a joint venture program between Johns Hopkins University and Nanjing University. Why study financial crises or risks or problems? I think in English we say you learn more from your mistakes than the things you do well, right? It's like the mistakes are when you learn, right? You learn how to do things better. So maybe it's good to learn from your mistakes, but maybe it's even better to learn from other people's mistakes, right? Because then you do not have to pay the cost. So I think, I think with financial crises, you can study and look at when things go wrong, why do they go wrong? And I think that's actually helps you understand also how to do things right? So this is, I think, a useful lesson. I have to teach 3-hour classes, so for me it's a long time, but I think for the students maybe it's even longer because they are listening in English and their English is not their first language. So I feel the students are quite diligent and the students do a good job of concentrating and listening. I'm not sure speed is the thing, right? You will not necessarily learn things quicker doing case studies or doing simulations. But I think the advantage is that two things. First of all, students find it interesting and it breaks up the class, right? I mean, I try not to be too boring, right? But it's a bit boring, right? And so if you have a case study, you have a negotiation game, people can participate, students are more active, and then I think that makes them more interesting, and then maybe they can also learn things better and absorb things better. The real world is never quite so simple, right? It's a bit messy. But if you can't take the idea you learn in class and use it in the real world, then you lose a lot of the value of the class, right? And so I feel if you just teach the theory from the theory point of view, students may learn the theory and maybe they do paper or they do exam and then they forget everything, right, when they leave class, right? And so I think you're not so valuable, right? And so I think you try and give students ideas and then help see how they apply in the real world. And then if they get practice doing that, they get to see these ideas in the real world, even outside class, right? It means that they can apply the ideas. It makes the class more valuable to them, more useful to them. So it might be useful in future study, maybe useful in future career, but even in just useful in everyday life, just to understand the world and what's going on. I think all levels, I hope anyway, the classes can be useful to students.